Part 27. Kumogakure forced me, and the Third Hokage persuaded me to die. Author, Uchiha Hokage. Chapter 265. Boom. The Hamura Temple on the moon was violently separated by Hyaganaraku using the repulsive power of the reincarnation eye. The rubble was firmly controlled and did not fall towards the giant reincarnation eye, and then was repelled one by one. The huge golden giant reincarnation eye appeared. An extremely large amount of chakra, possessing terrifying power enough to drive the moon into the ninja world. The giant Tensagan, not bad. Hyaganaraku briefly evaluated the chakra amount of the giant reincarnation eye. If he completely absorbed the giant reincarnation eye, the chakra amount should increase by one stage again. But, what else is there on the higher level of the blood successor's net? What? You may need to know this through Kaguya. Bring it on. Shaking his head and dispelling his inner thoughts, Hinatan Naraku raised his arm and faced the giant reincarnation eye. Boom. Terrifying chakra fluctuations, boundless. The chakra hidden in the giant reincarnation eye was mobilized and was absorbed by Hyaganaraku. Pulling, like a terrifying torrent, it flows into the latter's body. Buzz. As the chakra continues to flow in, the color of Hinatan Naraku's own reincarnated eyes begins to gradually change. It was originally white, with light blue in it. Suddenly like snowflakes. Now, a little trace of gold gradually appears in this light blue. The Tsanjikan is transforming towards a more powerful state. This may be called, the eyes of the blood succession snare realm. Hinatan Naraku thought inwardly. His own realm is now a blood inheritance snare. But at this moment, his own pair of reincarnated eyes are also transforming towards the realm of blood successor snare alone. Really? Above the level of blood succession snare, there is a higher realm. As you continue to absorb chakra, your body will gradually transform towards a higher realm of life. That's why those at Sutsukis are so keen on planting sacred trees on planets. The purpose is to pursue a higher level of life and a higher realm of power. Buzz. The chakra transmission of the giant reincarnation continues. But at this moment, the size of the giant reincarnation eye has been severely reduced. Obviously, all the missing chakra was absorbed by Hinatan Naraku. 10 tails, here you come. On the forehead of Hinatan Naraku, the blood-colored 9 Megatama Samsara eyes bloomed, and the terrifying light swept towards the ninja world. Bang! The 10 tails, which was originally abandoned on the land of rain, was channeled at this moment. Roar! The 10 tails roared crazily, struggled, and wailed. It seemed to feel some unknown premonition. The 10 tails, known as the world-destroying beast, actually felt a fatal crisis at this moment. If I devour the 10 tails, that is Kaguya's true body, even if Kaguya's spirit body is released, I will still be able to completely control that little bit of strength. Hyaganaraku thought to himself. Especially after he devours the 10 tails, his strength will skyrocket. And without the 10 tails as the main body of Kaguya, both her realm and strength will seriously decline. As one waxes and wanes, the gap will grow. It's even bigger. Become the nourishment for my growth, 10 tails. As he spoke, the eye of the moon on Hyaganaraku's forehead burst out with a burst of terrifying light. The terrifying tearing and devouring power swept towards the 10 tails. With the assistance of the giant reincarnation eye chakra, Hyaganaraku successfully began to devour the 10 tails. The process of "It's really possible." The immortal of 6 paths was dumbfounded. The 10 tails can be devoured madly. You know, after he sealed his mother, he didn't want to get rid of Wangyo's 10 tails. But given his state of mind, he tried various methods, but to no avail. In the end, the 10 tails can only be divided into the body of the heretic demon and the chakra form of the 9-tailed beasts. What he said does make some sense. If you cannot do many things, it means that your realm is not enough, and the issue of realm cannot be realized through the connection between people. Otsutsuki Hamura said thoughtfully. The six-path sage fell silent, also thinking about this matter. On Hinatan Nariku's side, with the ten tails wailing, the devouring has entered an irreversible end. Kumogakure forced me, and the Third Hokage persuaded me to die. Author, Uchiha Hokage. Chapter 266. I will release Kaguya next, and the movement may be quite large. Hyaga Nariku said to the three of Otsutsuki. Mainly to Tonari. Although Tonari has the talent to awaken the reincarnation eye, his current strength is indeed not good enough. Don't worry, I will take good care of Shiran. Otsutsuki Hamura said. He stretched out his hand and patted a stream of chakra on Tonari, making Tonari float with him. Fly, fly. Tonari watched in amazement as his feet left the ground. He seemed to have mastered the ability to fly. As long as he had a thought, he could float into the air. Stay away from the lunar surface and don't be affected. Hyaga Nariku gave the final reminder to the three of them. After the three sage of six paths took off and rose to the sky, Hyaga Nariku finally started to move. At this moment, his eyes 380 degrees absorbed the giant reincarnation eye and swallowed 10 after the tail. It has evolved into gold. White eyes, golden snowflake-like texture. These are a pair of blood-stained eyes that capture the realm. Buzz. 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 Continuous black seeking jade appears in front of Hinatan Nariku, arranged it formed a circle and began to rotate at high speed, turning into a dazzling golden sword. Golden will reincarnation explodes. Hyaga Nariku held the golden sword in his hand and slashed towards the moon in front of him. As the golden sword fell, it became longer and longer, spanning the entire moon. Chi. The huge celestial body is like cutting tofu with a knife, easily cut open by the golden sword. A huge chakra fluctuation bursts out from the depths of the moon. After sleeping for thousands of years, Kaguya finally woke up. After feeling the comfort of her seal disappearing, Kaguya didn't know what the situation was, but she didn't hesitate to burst out with all her strength and break free from the moon. Hamura, get ready. The immortal of six paths had an extremely serious expression. The opponent was his mother, and he knew very well how powerful the opponent was. Thousands of years ago, he and Hamura joined forces, and with the help of immortal magic, it took several months to successfully seal his mother. Mother's condition seems to be very bad, and we may not need to take action. Otsutsuki Hamura's reincarnation eye glanced at Kaguya's body, and quickly discerned the latter's state. As the original body, the ten tails has been swallowed by Hyaga Nariku lost. Although Kaguya is now unsealed, he is only an existence in the form of a chakra spirit. His overall strength can only be said to be barely at the 6th level. Probably, just like the state of the two brothers. If with this kind of strength, Hyaga Nariku's strength should be enough to easily handle it. Hag Oromo. Hamura. After breaking free from the seal, Kaguya immediately discovered two familiar chakras. It was his two sons. The culprits who had sealed him for thousands of years. However, Kaguya had not had time to start the next step. A small black sphere suddenly came towards her. 6 paths of earth bursting into the sky. Hyaga Nariku looked at the shattered moon. In order to prevent harm to the ninja world, he chose to restore the moon to its original state. Kaguya was completely stunned. How could she not be familiar with this move? It was her who used this move to seal her two good sons. Why now, just after she was freed from the seal, she was about to explode again with 6 blasts. Heavenly Star. Kaguya in the spirit form flew uncontrollably towards the core of the earth-burst heavenly star. Her current strength is far less than before, but the power of this earth-burst heavenly star is stronger than that released by the two brothers of 6 Paths Sage. Strong. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Kumogakure forced me, and the Third Hokage persuaded me to die. Author, Uchiha Hokage. Chapter 267. No, don't do this. Kaguya began to struggle desperately. She tried to burst out chakra and tried to break away from the gravity of the Earth Blast Star. However, she was only in the spirit form at the moment and had lost the Ten-Tails as her main body. Facing an enhanced version of the six-path Earth Blast Star, completely irresistible. I can only be sucked in by gravity little by little in despair. All things are attracted by heaven. Suddenly, Hyuga Naruko stretched out his hand, and a gravitational force hit Kaguya. The tyrannical force directly pulled Kaguya out of the gravitational range of the Earth Blast Star. He wanted to release Kaguya for questioning, but he couldn't let him. Kaguya was sealed back just like that. Kaguya watched helplessly as she was pulled by gravity and flew towards the strange man. Mortal, dare to treat me like this. The anger rose in Kaguya's heart, and she raised her hand and released a gray-white bone spur. Let's kill the gray bones together. Snap. Who are you trying to scare with a bone spur that looks like a child's toy? Hyuga Naruko casually slapped away the ashes of the joint kill. With Kaguya's current chakra state, I'm afraid even Uchiha Madara can't kill this bone spur. Let alone him. You. Kaguya's white pupils shrank. How could the other party not care about one of his powerful killing moves? It seems you still don't understand your situation. Hyuga Naruko twisted his neck and mobilized chakra. In this case, let me let you sober up, and by the way, I can help you celebrate that you have been freed from the seal. Divine 80 God Air Strike. Accompanied by Hyuga Naruko's solemn voice, which was like a declaration from a god. The dark starry sky was filled with light. Boundless bright white light emitted from Hyuga Naruko's hands, one after another, terrifying chakra iron fists, moving crazily towards Kaguya's. He went to greet her. Boom 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 boom. Continuous horrific beatings. Even in Kaguya's stature, she couldn't help but scream in pain. The power of this Yagagama's air strike was even still in her mind. Above her peak period. Even at her peak, she would have been seriously injured if she withstood such a round of 80 God's air attack. If she hadn't had the immortality of the spirit body of the blood successor snare, she would have been beaten by now. The ashes disappeared. After a while, the light that illuminated the starry sky dissipated. Kaguya's spirit body floated quietly in the universe. The whole person fell into confusion. I am who? Where am I? Why was I beaten? Who is this strange man? Released her from the seal and then gave her a severe beating. How cruel. Now you should understand your situation. Hyuga Naruko said lightly. Kaguya sensed Hyuga Naruko's aura and found her own Ten-Tails aura on him. You. Kaguya was just about to point her finger at Hinata Naruko, the thief, who stole her chakra. He saw Hinata Naruko raising his fist again. The vague white light once again filled the fist. My identity is clear. Kaguya immediately became honest and even used humility. Now the situation is very clear. Although this shameless little thief, despicable robber, hateful plunderer, stole his chakra, the current situation is the other party is stronger than me, far stronger than me. If I don't want to be beaten, I have to be obedient. In the starry sky, the two brothers of the six-path sage are floating in the sky watching the situation here, looking at each other. Their mother, the one who made them seal it. Is this evil person so honest? At Satsuki Hamura now I agree with Hinata Naruko's words even more. Sure enough, we still need to improve our strength and realm. The immortal of six paths remained silent. Kumogakure forced me, and the Third Hokage persuaded me to die. Author, Uchiha Hokage. Chapter 268. Next I will ask you some questions and I hope you will answer them honestly. Do you hear me clearly? Hyaga Naruko said to Kagaya with a kind expression. Kagaya's expression was a little humiliated, but when she saw Hinata Naruko trying to raise her fist again, she still gave in. Understand personally. Very good. Hyaga Naruko nodded. So, the first question is, what is the ultimate goal of your Otsutsuki clan? What will happen if you keep eating chakra fruits? Will it reach a new level? Kagaya's expression was startled. 200 looked at the man across from him, suddenly doubting whether the other man was from the Otsutsuki clan. But after thinking about it, this was obviously impossible. Judging from the other party's question, it can be seen that although the other party knows about the Otsutsuki clan, he does not fully understand it. Keep going to various living planets, plant sacred trees, and then wait for hundreds of years or even longer to pass. When the sacred trees are expected to bear fruit, go and harvest them, and then plant new sacred trees. The more chakra fruits you eat, the higher your life level will be and you will gradually sublimate. Eventually, it is said that a new realm will be reached, about which I only know that it is called the God of Otsutsuki. Kagaya answered honestly. God. The two brothers of the six-path sage behind him were shocked. With the strength and realm of the clan to which their mother belongs, what kind of realm would it be if they were called gods? Hyaga Naruko, he nodded and asked, is there anyone from the Otsutsuki clan in your memory, reached this level? I don't know this. Kagaya shook her head. After all. Biting her lip, she didn't say anything further. She also has little status in the clan. It is used as a sacrifice to the Ten-Tails and to plant the sacred tree. Hinata Naruko's reincarnated eyes flashed with light, and he stretched out his hand towards Kagaya's void, and a ball of memory light was grabbed out. After checking it, I found that Kagaya was not lying. She really didn't know much. However, there are indeed many Six Paths level experts in the Otsutsuki clan, so Kagaya is always in panic. After discovering the extremely prosperous life planet in the ninja world, Kagaya became more ambitious and took action against Otsutsuki Ishiki. Kagaya looked at Hinata Naruko's movements, and veins appeared on her forehead. She answered honestly, but she still had to read her memory. If you can't trust her, why do you ask her? It seems that you are indeed obedient. Well, at least you were obedient just now. Hyaga Naruko smiled and nodded. So, you got a chance to choose. Will you surrender to me, or will you be swallowed up by me and become my nourishment leading to a higher realm? The choice is now yours. Kagaya gritted her teeth angrily. After finally being released, what was waiting for her was this result. Black Zetsu. She created Black Jew to help herself out of trouble, but why has there been no movement after thousands of years? Don't think about the black mud you created, that guy has been absorbed by me. Hyaga Naruko saw Kagaya's thoughts and said. By the way, there's another little thing that might interest you. Don't try to get your Ten-Tails back, it's been devoured by me too. Hinata Naruko said with a smile. Kagaya almost cursed. The Ten-Tails, which is its own body, has been absorbed. What else could she do? After absorbing the Ten-Tails, I found that I can sense a certain connection with you. It seems that I can influence you. If you escape, I can easily locate your existence and capture you. Moreover, it seems that the good image itself will also affect you. This is also the reason why Hyaga Naruko dares to try to conquer Kagaya. The other party has no room for resistance in front of him. With so many thoughts in her heart, Kagaya finally reluctantly accepted her new fate. Sir, I will obey your instructions from now on. Forget it. Anyway, it's not like I haven't experienced it before. Fortunately, I don't have to be a sacrifice to the Ten-Tails now. Kumogakure forced me, and the Third Hokage persuaded me to die. Author, Uchiha Hokage. Chapter 269. Behind, in space, the two brothers of Six Path Sage were dumbfounded. Mother, you surrendered like this? The mother who brought them infinite fear and oppression, who tried to use all the life of the ninja world to provide her with chakra, actually gave in like this. Hag Oromo, Hamura, you too. Kaguya saw the two of them, and the pressure in his white pupils gradually expanded. Okay, you three are all in spirit form now and don't even have a body. Why are you noobs pecking each other? Hyuga Naraku curled his lips and said. Kaguya. 6 paths immortal. At Satsuki Hamura. Rookies pecking each other. This is the first time that they have been looked down upon like this since thousands of years ago. 14 or you three can fight again, as long as it doesn't affect the ninja world. Hyuga Naraku continued. No, no more. Kaguya looked at Hinata Naraku, but she still chose not to cause trouble. Otherwise, the iron fist of the Asagami airstrike might fall on her again. Suddenly, Hinata Naraku's eyes moved slightly. The bloody eyes of the moon opened it and glanced at the ninja world. Space fluctuations appeared somewhere. It seemed that someone had forcibly opened a hole in a different space. Ha, interesting. It seems that Obito and the others have found it. The corners of Hyuga Naraku's lips raised slightly, and he turned to Kaguya and said, this dangerous person lurking in the ninja world is finally about to appear. Hey, Kaguya, do you want to meet your old acquaintance? Kaguya's expression changed. A dangerous person lurking in the ninja world, an acquaintance of hers? A formula? Kaguya's expression became serious. At first, she sneaked into Ishiki and fed most of Ishiki's body to the 10 tails, but she finally let Ishiki escape. After that, when she ate the fruit of the sacred tree, she became the blood successor snare. After that, she also tried to find Satsuki and eliminate him with one move, but the opponent kept hiding and did not show up at all. Later, she was sealed by 2 traitors. Are there other Satsuki hidden in the ninja world? The face of the 6-path sage changed drastically. Although he has been deep in the underworld for a long time, he has also been watching the world of ninja. He has never noticed that there is such a person. The immortal of 6 paths felt extremely uneasy when he thought that there was such a dangerous person who was always hiding and plotting something. Maybe, Hinata Naraku's idea is correct. Only by pursuing greater strength and creating more 6-path level warriors can we successfully protect the ninja world. Somewhere in the ninja world. Obito, can you do it? Uchiha Madara crossed his arms and looked at the struggling Uchiha Obito. If you can't help me, shut up. The kaleidoscope power of Obito's eyes has been activated to the extreme, trying hard to tear open a space channel. He has found the location of the secret alien space. However, even if he has the powerful eye technique, he wants to open a space channel in such a strange place. It is also extremely difficult to tear open a hole in the 130-dimensional space. Buzz. A space door was opened in the distortion of space. Get in quickly, I won't last long. Obito roared hoarsely. Snort. Uchiha Madara snorted coldly and rushed in. The strong man hiding inside has no idea what his strength is. I hope he can be satisfied. Uchiha Obito followed closely and broke in before the space channel was closed. Go in. I hope that the strong man inside will be as strong as possible and kill this bastard Uchiha Madara. As for himself, he is already dead anyway, and now he is still an immortal body with a filthy earth body, so he has nothing to fear. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Kumogakure forced me, and the Third Hokage persuaded me to die. Author, Uchiha Hokage. Chapter 270. A very strange space. Uchiha Madara looked around. This place is completely different from the ninja world. It seems to be an independent space of its own. Uchiha Obito's expression suddenly changed and he said, the space here is blocked, and now my divine power can no longer tear the space apart. I'm afraid the owner here has discovered us. Haha. This kind of thing couldn't be better. Anyway, he is a dead man now. When the master here comes, the only one who will be unlucky will be Uchiha Madara, the living guy. Heh, Obito, do you just look down on my strength? Uchiha Madara crossed his arms and sneered. Although he is not Hinata Nariku's opponent, at any rate, not just anyone can challenge him. Suddenly, a sudden voice sounded in the sky. Your strength is indeed good. The voice was very calm. It seemed that he was just commenting on an ordinary person. Uchiha Madara's expression changed. He looked up and saw a monk-like man in the sky, with no fighting power, looking down at them condescendingly. What is this guy? When did it appear? Didn't you realize it just now? The repulsive force of the Rinnegan eye exploded. Uchiha Madara controlled his body and flew high into the sky, face to face with Otsutsuki Ishiki. You're the guy who was so scared that he hid? A guy who was so frightened by the power of Hyuga Nariku's promotion that he hid in the bastard's cover, what right do you have to say anything about him? Otsutsuki Ishiki's expression became serious and he said, I'm not in a good condition right now, so it's not convenient for me to have a conflict with him. What do you mean, you are not in a good condition, but you can deal with me? A surge of anger arose in Uchiha Madara's heart. This guy actually spoke out unscrupulously despite his state of mind. Do you look down on him at all in your heart? If I deal with you, there will still be no problem. Of course, I won't kill you. After all, your body is very good and you are qualified to be the container for my reincarnation. The white eyes of Otsutsuki Ishiki's left eye looked up and down at Uchiha Madara, feeling slightly satisfied. This guy's body is better than all the containers he has tried to find in the past 1,000 years. The Uchiha clan's pupil power, 1,000 the immortal body of the Hand clan, and the Samsara eye that merges the two, are both possessed by the other party. This is simply the perfect reincarnation container prepared for him. If he can occupy the other party's body and complete the reincarnation, his own strength, maybe we can return directly to our previous peak. Reincarnated, container. Uchiha Madara was confused. Hyuga Nariku didn't tell him these things. Why does it feel like the other party is coveting his body? Seeing Uchiha Madara's doubts, Otsutsuki Ishiki nodded and said, You can see it too. Yes, you came at the right time for me. I couldn't even imagine that the thing I longed for most would actually come to me like this. Just like a precious ingredient, after cooking it yourself, take the initiative to deliver it to gourmets. The anger in Uchiha Madara's heart rose. This guy's tone of voice was even more pretentious than him. From the Warring States period to the present, neither Senju Hashirama nor Hyuga Nariku had ever spoken with such disdain. If you want to treat me as food, it depends on whether you have the qualifications. Uchiha Madara said coldly, and the repulsive power of the Samsara eye suddenly exploded. Kumogakure forced me, and the Third Hokage persuaded me to die. Author, Uchiha Hokage. Chapter 271. The Power of the Samsara Eye. This ability is only the most basic strength for us. Facing the terrifying repulsive force of the Rinnegan, Otsutsuki Ishiki still stood in the air out of thin air. The majestic repulsive force seemed to have no impact on him at all. Uchiha Madara's eyes narrowed. This enemy is really not that simple. He looked carefully again and saw that there seemed to be an invisible barrier in front of the other party. That barrier blocked the repulsive force of the Samsara eye. The opponent's left eye is a white eye, and it seems to be done through this white eye. But does Byakugan have this magical 233 ability? Although the Byakugan of the Hyuga clan and the Sharingan of Uchiha are also the two major eye-stained families in the ninja world. But since awakening the Mangekyo Sharingan, Uchiha Madara has never paid attention to the Byakugan of the Hyuga clan. Until he was beaten by Hinata Nariku. Hinata Nariku's eyes are close to the Byakugan. According to him, they are called the Tenseigan. The mysterious enemy in front of me also has Byakugan, and it seems to be different from the Byakugan of the ordinary Hyuga clan. It seems that you are indeed an opponent worthy of attention. Uchiha Madara began to get excited. The previous battle with Hyuga Nariku had a very bad experience. He used all his methods, but he was indeed killed by Hyuga Nariku in an instant. Now, I hope to have an even battle. Todoroki. Uchiha Madara crushed the ground with his foot. With the repulsion of the Rinnegan, he rose into the air and rushed directly towards Otsutsuki Ishiki in the sky. Do you want to compete with me in physical skills? Otsutsuki Ishiki's expression did not change at all, he easily raised his arms and parried Uchiha Madara's attack. Boom boom boom, in the air of a different space, the figures of the two people flashed rapidly. There was a continuous sound of terrifying sonic booms. So fast. Uchiha Obito, who was in a dirty body, stood below and watched the battle. The speed of these two people is almost as fast as the limit. Even with his Mangekyo Sharingan, it was almost impossible to catch the traces of these two people. If he were to participate in the battle, he might not have time to react, and he would be killed instantly with physical skills. Compared with Uchiha Madara and that Otsutsuki Ishiki, his strength is completely inadequate. Boom. The rapid physical battle in the air quickly revealed the result. Uchiha Madara was already at a disadvantage and was punched to the ground. After about to fall to the ground, Uchiha Madara activated Susanoo, and the dark blue Susanoo made a big hole in the ground. Happy. Although he was knocked away, Uchiha Madara did not feel defeated at all. This is the battle he wanted. Just when he was about to put away Susanoo and continue fighting, the Otsutsuki style in the sky, slowly flying down to the ground. Are you eager to fight? Otsutsuki Ishiki's voice was calm. Considering the natives of this planet, your strength is considered very strong. Even our clan cannot ignore your strength. But, for me, that's all. Uchiha Madara's expression stiffened. This guy is really good at showing off. You seem unconvinced. Otsutsuki stretched out his hand to face Uchiha Madara, and the golden rice pupil power of his right eye bloomed slightly. Just when Uchiha Madara was carefully wary of the opponent's possible pupil technique, suddenly, with a sneer, several black rods penetrated his arms. Kumogakure forced me, and the Third Hokage persuaded me to die. Author, Uchiha Hokage. Chapter 272. This is. Uchiha Madara's expression changed drastically. Yin-yang black rod. Why did it suddenly penetrate his arm? The other party should have used his pupil technique just now, but Uchiha Madara did not see the principle of the opponent's pupil technique at all. These black rods seemed to appear out of thin air and penetrated his arms. Uchiha Madara stood up quickly, turned on the Susanoo, stepped back, pulled some distance away, and then immediately pulled out the black rod on his arm. On the other side, Otsutsuki Ishiki looked at him with no intention of stopping him. You are indeed a very strong opponent. Uchiha Madara's expression became serious. He just felt it. After being inserted into the body by the yin-yang black rod, the flow of chakra will be hindered. He can also do this. But the strength of the opponent's yin-yang, it seems to be taller than him. Those black rods that just penetrated his arms have seriously affected the chakra mobilization in his arms. It seems that you have realized the gap in our strength. Otsutsuki Ishiki said in a calm voice. He is very clear about the gap between them. The other party is now deep in his different space, and he is not worried about the other party being able to escape. In the distance, Uchiha Obito is watching the battle calmly. Secretly excited. Go. Kill this mashup of Uchiha Madara. Although he doesn't know what the mysterious man hiding in the ninja world wants to do, but he will support anyone who can help him get revenge on Uchiha Madara. Ah! Uchiha Madara suddenly sneered, and his huge pupil power bloomed. With the blessing of pupil power, the massive amount of chakra formed a dark blue giant as high as the height. Complete Susanoo. The battle has obviously just begun, keep fighting. With that said, Uchiha Madara controlled Susanoo, and the long sword in the hand of the Susanoo suddenly slashed towards Otsutsuki. And in Susanoo, in the process of slashing with the Sanagata sword, he also used the repulsive power of the Rinnegan to give him a blessing. This was the first time that he combined the power of the Rinnegan with Susanoo. Boom! The ground suddenly exploded. A terrifying blast, the rift, cut out by the Susanoo sword, stretches for thousands of meters. Rocks exploded, and a large amount of smoke and dust rose up. After a while, the smoke gradually dispersed. Otsutsuki Ishiki stood quietly on the Susanoo sword, he looked at the perfect Susan in front of him. It was obviously the perfect Susan, who was 100 meters tall, but in Otsutsuki Ishiki's eyes, he seemed to be looking at a child's toy. Susanoo of the Uchiha clan seems to be nothing more than that. As he said that, Otsutsuki suddenly jumped up and flew towards Uchiha Madara, who was at the crystal position of Susanoo's forehead in full form. So fast. Uchiha Madara's pupils shrank suddenly. One of Susanoo's arms tried to grab Otsutsuki in one move, but he couldn't keep up with the opponent's speed. In an instant, the opponent crossed a distance of 100 meters and came to the head of the complete Susanoo, was kicked from bottom to top. Click. The extremely strong Susanoo seemed to be extremely fragile at this moment, and was easily broken by this kick. And the body of Otsutsuki Ishiki, it seemed that he was not hindered much by the defense of the complete Susanoo, and continued to kick Uchiha Madara at the forehead crystal position. Puff. Uchiha Madara just noticed that Susan's defense in the complete body was destroyed, and before he could be shocked, Otsutsuki had already kicked him with one move, kicking him out of Susan's head crystal. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Kumogakure forced me, and the Third Hokage persuaded me to die. Author, Uchiha Hokage. Chapter 273. What a terrifying power. On the ground, Obito Uchiha was watching the battle with his eyes almost popping out of his head. One kick, just one kick. He kicked Uchiha Madara's complete Susanoo. What a terrifying body this is. Jutsu strength. That guy Uchiha Madara actually wanted to compete with that mysterious man in Taijutsu before. Haha, I really don't know the heights of the world. The other party probably wasn't serious at all just now, right? Fight, keep fighting, let Uchiha Madara feel the pain to his heart's content, 480 Uchiha Obito said with hatred in his eyes. Uchiha Madara, this bastard, killed Lin, controlled his life, and made him look like a clown all his life. In the sky. Otsutsuki, after kicking Uchiha Madara out of Susanoo with one move and one kick, he suddenly found that Uchiha Madara in front of him suddenly disappeared. But he still felt like he had kicked something. Is this some kind of special clone? It should be the pupil technique of the Samsara eye. The golden word rice in Otsutsuki Ishiki's right eye flashed, and he instantly saw the phantom in front of him. He glanced around. Finally, he found traces of Uchiha Madara on the ground. The opponent's abdomen was kicked by him, and the terrifying wound was at this moment recovering quickly. Let me guess, your body suddenly disappeared, and then a special clone withstood my attack. Your reincarnation eye technique should be able to separate this special clone, and then, it should be able to exchange places with the main body, so you just used this eye technique to avoid my attack. Otsutsuki said calmly. This pupil technique is just a little troublesome for him. It cannot pose a real threat to him at all. Uchiha Madara looked extremely solemn. This guy is very, very strong. Hinatan Nariku is not exaggerating. This mysterious man hiding in a different space in the ninja world is truly terrifying. The extremely powerful force directly kicked his complete Susanna. Moreover, he easily penetrated the pupil technique of his samsara eye. What's even scarier? The other party has not used any special abilities until now. He just used the most basic physical skills, although the power of this guy's physical skills is incredible. Want to keep fighting? If you have any other means, feel free to use them. Otsutsuki said in a calm voice. Uchiha Madara's face was slightly distorted. This bastard really looked down on him. He is Uchiha Madara. Buzz. The pupil power of the Samsara Eye bloomed, and a total of 4 clones of the Samsara Tomb split together. The 4 clones, together with his main body, attacked Otsutsuki in one move. Laugh. It's like before again, a large number of black sticks suddenly appear. Wrong. This should be your special eye technique. Uchiha Madara guessed it immediately, and then quickly tried to analyze the principle of the opponent's eye technique. That's right. Unfortunately, you don't have a chance. Otsutsuki's expression was indifferent, and the golden rice-shaped pupils of his left eye blossomed. In an instant, a dozen huge black cubes appeared out of thin air, and smashed down towards Uchiha Madara and his Rhine Tomb clone. Uchiha Madara's complexion changed slightly. This black cube, I don't know what material it is made of, but its quality is very terrifying. The repulsion of the Samsara Eye explodes, trying to delay the speed of the black cube falling in the sky. At the same time, Uchiha Madara quickly retreats, intending to withdraw from the black cube's attack. Range. Tisk. Just in the direction of his retreat, a large number of black rods came out and penetrated his body. Fuck. 3.4 Uchiha Madara wanted to curse. Facing him, Otsutsuki's move was extremely fast, heading straight towards he rushed over. Damn it! Uchiha Madara's face was very reluctant, but that was all he could do at the moment. The strength of this mysterious strongman exceeded his imagination, and he lacked information about the opponent's eye skills. He had no choice but to ask for help. He took out a Hinata Uchiha Madara's suddenly poured chakra into the flying thunder god Konao that Naruto left for him before. Kumogakure forced me, and the Third Hokage persuaded me to die. Author, Uchiha Hokage. Chapter 274. Although Uchiha Madara has an arrogant character and although he is eager to fight, but it's not like he has never lost. He was even beaten to the ground by Hashirama and left to die. In the previous battle with Hyuga Naruto, he was also brutally beaten by Fancy. Therefore, it is not that he cannot admit that his strength is inferior to others. However, despite this, given Uchiha Madara's character, he generally cannot do this method of swaying others if he cannot win. But things are different now. That mysterious man is hiding in a different space in the ninja world. There should be some conspiracy against the ninja world. And listening to the other party's words, the other party seems to be eager for his body. If the other party gets his body, his 14 power will probably increase greatly. In this case, he has no choice but to be stubborn. Just ask for help honestly. It's the feeling of space-time ninjutsu. What did you do? Otsutsuki Ishiki's expression changed. A time and space ninjutsu signal just appeared on the other side. Could it be that it is used for positioning by people outside? And Uchiha Madara also took advantage of Otsutsuki Ishiki's hesitation. At this moment, he pulled out the black stick on his body, backed away suddenly, and opened a distance. Gee, you seem to be afraid of this guy. Uchiha Madara looked at Otsutsuki Ishiki's face and said. I guess so. According to Hyuga Naruto, the other party hid in a different space after he was promoted to the blood successor and the noise broke out in the snare, and then he didn't come out. It seems, the opponent's strength should not be as good as Hinata Naruto's. You are indeed positioning people. Otsutsuki confirmed the move. Then, without any hesitation, he suddenly rushed towards Uchiha Madara. He had already strengthened the sealing strength of this alien space before. Even the strong man who opened the eye of the moon before should be able to. It is difficult to forcefully enter this different space. What we have to do now is to take down the guy opposite as soon as possible, and then use his body to complete the reincarnation. By then, he will be able to return to nearly all his previous strength. In this way, maybe face that terrifying strong man who awakened the eye of the moon. You seem to be getting anxious. Uchiha Madara was at full speed, and his figure flashed quickly in the air, dodging at Satsuki's attack. Although the opponent may be stronger, it is not so easy to defeat him. Moreover, he just can use this time to observe and analyze the opponent's eye skills. Satsuki stopped suddenly in one move and stretched out his arm in the direction of Uchiha Madara. In an instant, a large number of huge black cubes and giant black rods appeared out of thin air, compressing Uchiha Madara's dodge space. Uchiha Madara's eyelids twitched wildly. Isn't that outrageous? Where did all these things come from? The opponent's pupil technique must be related to time and space. Boom boom boom. The huge black cube roared towards Uchiha Madara. At the same time, the giant black rods that were densely packed like a forest greatly hindered his speed. Just when Satsuki's 323th style was about to go and capture Uchiha Madara. Boom! The terrifying vibration spread throughout the alien space. The whole space is shaking. What happened? Uchiha Obito was at a loss. Uchiha Madara and the mysterious man were fighting, but their fight shouldn't cause such a terrifying scene, right? Coming. Satsuki Ishiki's face became extremely ugly. The signal of the time and space ninjutsu just now was indeed transmitted, and now someone outside is using this to locate it, trying to forcefully tear apart the space. It should be the one who awakened the eye of the moon before strong. Satsuki Ishiki glanced at Uchiha Madara, then turned around without hesitation and flew towards the depths of the alien space.